So I've been working on a video recently, and I realized that it's going to take me way longer than I expected it to. Since I do want at least a little bit of consistency on my channel, I thought that I could make a shorter video about something that I found interesting but wouldn't fit in some of my regular content. It's also a way for me to make my regular content without having to worry too much about the time it takes, since I can make these shorter videos if ever I need to. I'm thinking it could also be a series, but I can't think of a name, so if you guys think of a name for a series about interesting things that are shorter than my regular uploads, then please share them in the comments below. If I like a name in the comments enough to use it, I will give proper credit to the person in the About section of my YouTube channel and in the next video of this series. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoy the video. In 1999, Robert Capato married Karen Capato. Shortly thereafter, Robert was diagnosed with cancer. Out of fear that the chemotherapy would make him go sterile, he saved some of his sperm in a sperm bank. Surprisingly, despite his hardcore treatment regimen, he was still able to naturally conceive, and Karen gave birth to a son in August of 2001. Sadly, Robert's health suddenly started deteriorating, and he died in Florida in 2002. His will's beneficiaries included 2 children from a previous marriage, his wife Karen Capato, and the son Karen had conceived with Robert. After the passing of Robert, Karen wanted her son to have siblings, so she used the frozen sperm mentioned earlier and gave birth to 2 twins in September of 2003, 18 months after Robert's passing. To be clear, Robert did say that he was alright with having his sperm used after his death. Karen applied for survivor's insurance on behalf of the twins. Survivor's insurance is insurance paid to surviving children or spouses of deceased taxpayers. The Social Security Administration, or SSA, denied her application, a decision which was affirmed by the District Court of New Jersey. The reason for this was that since the twins were not included in the will, they would have to rely on the state's intestacy laws about where someone's estate goes if it isn't stated clearly in a will. And since Robert made his will in Florida, they would have to specifically look at their intestacy law. In Florida, a child is subject to intestate succession only if the child is conceived while the parent is alive, which if you've been paying attention so far, you know that's not what happened. Karen then went to the Third Circuit Court, which actually reversed the decision for, reasons. Basically, since the children were actually children, and are definitely the Capato's children, even if Robert was dead before they were conceived, they should still get the benefits. The case was then brought to the Supreme Court. Oral arguments were heard on March 19, 2012, and the decision was made on May 21st later that year. They unanimously sided with the SSA. The Supreme Court argued that in the eyes of the law, a child is not just a term, but is also a status with stated requirements and laws that were written before the advent of sperm banks and the ability to biologically trace a child's parentage was available. Because the laws didn't specify that biologically proving a child's parent was a way for that child to get benefits, the twins didn't count as Robert's children, even though as previously stated, they definitely are. Congress would have to amend laws or create new ones to include new technology, since previous politicians can't predict how technology can change the way things work. This court case showed how important it was for everything to be accounted for when it comes to the law. If you leave too many things for interpretation, you'll have blind spots. Blind spots that can end up being exacerbated when new developments in science and technology come around. It also tells us that the law doesn't really care what you think is normal or logical, only what's written down. Yeah, that's it.